just tell a stupid story because I never mind making fun of myself. I was years and years ago. I was really sick, so I went to the store. I was living on my own. I got a bunch of like hydration drinks, like Gatorades, Powerades, and I got a couple of these new ones. And one night, I kept waking up like angry and like not scared, but like alert. And I'd wake up and I'd take another chug of the water. Like, man, this sickness is really getting to me. And then that next morning, I looked down and I realized it was caffeinated water. So it was like Gatorade with caffeine in it. So yeah, I was sick. I needed to sleep. I had a big work project and I was just drinking caffeinated water all night, thinking I was helping myself and I was making it worse. So yeah,
Gosh, that's like
so all you
ecstasy
cappuccino
if
at
you're
night
not
people, not for me. I can't hack it. All right, I think everything is working. I believe we're live. So all you cappuccino, yep, okay. Sorry for that little echo. So I guess let's just jump in with it. So I am here with Marco, who is now the absolute go-to resource for everything downscaling. He wrote the entire downscaling section of the website and is the person I personally nag anytime I have a downscaling question. So thank you for joining us, Marco.
Happy to help. This is an honor to be on my very first live stream. So,
Oh, it is?
and there is a bit of time. Yeah, my very first. It's 10:30 p.m. here in Melbourne, Australia. So I'll try to stay sharp for the live stream.
Well, I won't go too long. And also, I know RetroTech and Zez are doing a stream afterwards, and Zez, I think, might talk about his history as a failed vacuum salesman this time. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I definitely want to make that one because you never know with Zez. He's got a story or two. Anybody listening, you got to ask him about that. That's going to be weird, but that's okay. All right. So I have a couple of things that I feel like we should do first. Is I guess I was about to plug it into my VGA monitor, but I realized we should probably connect it to the RetroTink 4K so that we could read the inputs on it. Like, what do you think? Do you think I could do everything through this monitor, or would it be better to have a digital solution like the Tink 4K so we could see exactly what the output is?
Think 4K would be a good idea. On this one, it shows me the horizontal frequency and vertical frequency.
Oh, okay.
But the Extron DVS 605, as in on my CRT monitor, the 605 is cheeky. It'll tell you it's outputting your EDID, the resolution you've set, but it really isn't. For some reason, sometimes it wants to just output 720p by default. So yeah, if you've got something else that tells you what you're actually outputting, then that'll be a good idea.
All right, so I will grab the Tink just to have. This thing is booting up. This takes a lot longer to boot than I expected. When I first plugged it in, I was like, uh-oh, did I get a dud? Because first there's nothing, then it says Extron, and then it'll eventually load up. It's the same with yours, right?
Yeah, mine won't take any updates. The very first one that I even got was a brick as well. There's quite a few people that I know of that receive them bricked. Only one person I know that actually got it out of that state. And even then, I think it was just a fluke.
Interesting. And do I need to be feeding it a signal in order to work with anything?
I mean, it's going to power on just fine, but you're going to get a black screen. There is a built-in test pattern, but you might as well just feed in something.
All right, I'll grab a giant HDMI cable and I'll feed it my Oppo Blu-ray player because we could set that to many, many different modes. I guess we could also, supposedly this is HDCP compliant, so we could also test that as well and see if this will allow us to just plug in a Blu-ray player and start sending it to a CRT or not. Because generally in really expensive devices like this, the option to strip HDCP was there because in the commercial environments they were in, it was actually a lot, like you wouldn't have seen this for pirating. You would have seen this for people who want to display video across a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, Extron talk about the green OSD bug. And I don't know if that's what I was getting, but I was getting a green screen saying HDCP is on. So what I've done to get, this is the PS3 displaying, I had to use a DAC in between the HDMI and the DVS. So mine's going in through VGA.
Okay. I could try that, and I could also try one of the PS3 compatible adapters, if you will. I think maybe so we're not staring at my butt. I'm just going to move the camera over like this. And that way we could I'll slide it back and we could see the Extron itself. We could see the screen, plug in the Tink, and kind of just go from there. I just need power and we're done. So now, how should I be making changes with this Extron box? Should I be plugging it into my PC via USB or via network? What do you think is the best way to do that?
For me, it's always just been USB. I've never used a network because when I used the other Extron, the IN1606, network needed a password. So you could just do network, see if it works, but whatever works for you should be equivalent either way.
Is there a USB port in the back of this thing that you connected to?
On the front.
On the front.
Next to the buttons.
Oh, I see it. It says config.
Yeah.
All right, I think I have one of those cables right here. I always have my box of cables and stuff ready and handy. Hey, what's up, Mutt?
Now, do you have the PCS, the product configuration software?
I do not.
Okay, so you'll have to download that.
If you wouldn't mind dropping a link while I plug this sucker in.
Sure.
I'm just gonna find that one cable. It's a good thing about being into retro is you still have all very old cables that were useless in every other way. I'm going to be plugging this through a USB hub, so if we have any issues, I could try plugging it directly to the PC. But I've definitely seen that before, where certain devices don't like hubs, especially older devices.
Now, I had to send it by DM because the link was too long to send it in chat.
Okay.
Yeah. But for anyone else wanting the link, it's in one of the downscaling videos on the Extron EDID method. There's like 3 videos on it.
Mutt said, I love the fact that you're still going even after finding the OSSC Pro is the best. Yeah, but Marco is also finding really cool use cases and stuff like that. And also, the scenario that I always talk about is, what if you already have this equipment? What if you got it from your job, or what if you found one super cheap? Like, how do you, wouldn't you like to know how it works and if it's a viable thing? And a lot of these things that Marco's found, it's if you already own it, yeah, just use it. But, don't go hunting it down. There's no need for that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we are still downloading, but it says seconds remaining, so.
Yeah.
Should I share my screen then so we could see the install and all that stuff?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, up to you if you want to. It's going to prompt you to update the DVS. Up to you if you want to do that or not. I've never gotten through with the update on mine. It's never worked.
All right. So the configurator set up first. Or there's 2 of them here.
So 2.
4x8 by something, 4x7 by 1. So the newer one, I'm assuming.
The older one. The newer one needs a sign in.
Oh, okay. So the older one.
So use the older one. Yep.
Should I just delete the newer one then?
Yeah, unless you have an Extron Insider account.
No, I do not.
You're kind of stuck. Yeah. Big shout out to Ludo for lending me this big behemoth over here as well. I told him I'm doing this live stream. I was like, I need a PC CRT, and he looks after his friends. He gave me the best one that he owns. So this thing is massive, and it's the reason I don't own a PC CRT. I just don't have the room for them.
Installing.
Now, you specifically want to do 24 hertz upsampling of frames, is that right?
Yeah. So I could just watch your videos and figure out how to do how to do all of the downscaling stuff. You were pretty clear about all that in the videos, but the thing that really interests me is this a hidden gem device for people that want to watch Blu-rays and DVDs on their PC CRT monitors?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the stuff I want to concentrate on today because I think this might be one of those things that like 7 people in the whole world care about. But
That's what it's about,
if you
though.
do care about it, it's going to be a very big deal. And
Mm.
unfortunately, that might mean the price is going to go up a lot for these, but we'll figure it out. All right, so
Yeah,
I'm
the,
gonna
the
have
DVS 605 is special because it's got analog out.
yeah, analog and digital out. So
Yeah.
eh. All right, I'm gonna get this up here, and I'll get your window back in a second. It's not allowing me to make that higher, but that's fine. Get you back. Okay. So I got that right here. Just connect, I'm
Yep.
assuming, right?
Yep. All right, you're in. I'm gonna send you some EDIDs that I was stuffing around with last night.
Okay. So somebody's already
So if you,
labeled these.
oh yeah, right. If you go to EDID Minder, that's where you import your EDIDs and you drop them onto the scaler.
Okay, I have my Blu-ray player plugged into port 3. Let me just go aspect ratio follow. Auto image, auto memory, HDCP others. Film detect. Aha! I wonder if that's what they're calling inverse telecine. That would be very, very interesting. Hey, Clerman, thanks for swinging by.
Now
All
keep
right,
in mind
so
this is your bag
you
because
said
some of this
EDID
stuff is new
Minder,
to me.
right?
Yeah. Towards the bottom, there's an option to import the EDID.
Add EDID to library. So I got to download the one you just sent me.
Yeah, I sent you 3. These are the ones that were working for me. So there's a, what did I get?
I
I
didn't
could
see
only
any
get
in the
72
Discord chat.
hertz. Oh, let me try again. Ah, I needed to click enter.
Yeah, it happens.
So I could get 1080p 58 hertz. So you're doubling the frames. I could get 720p 72 hertz, but I couldn't get 1080 72.
720, 72 hertz is absolutely a perfect one to start with because we'll be able to do everything that we need. Um, and we'll check out the other ones after. But the ones to get, so if this works, just a very quick thing for anybody listening, if this works, the goal would actually be to have the main one be 640 by 480 at 72 hertz, because basically any VGA monitor can handle that from any year, but also have other ones to select, like 720p 72, 720p 96, 1080p 72, 1080p 96, yada yada. I genuinely can't tell the difference between 72 and 96 on a PC CRT, but with older content, you probably won't be able to anyway. But let's, so I will go, I guess I'm gonna have to try to make, me play capture. I'm gonna have to shrink this a little bit so that you'll be able to see the full software here. Yeah. Because it's not letting me make
So
it.
my 60
There we go. Okay, okay.
my 605 is doing that thing that I said it does, where it defaults to 720p 60 hertz. So I'm
Hmm.
trying to use this resolution now.
Remove from favorites, remove from favorites. Okay. Add EDID to library. I'm going to do your 720, 72.
Yeah. And then in the library, you drag it onto where it says inputs. So if you scroll down, you'll see all these boxes with all the resolutions.
Right here or in the inputs?
left. It's not showing on yours. Where it says available EDID, can you expand that section?
I'm looking. Maybe I should get my glasses.
Have you added it? Go add EDID to library.
I did add yours, the
You have added it.
720p 72.
So
And
it did add it.
yeah, I'm now able to select 720p and 72 from the drop downs up here.
So where right next to where it says add EDID to library, all of mine show up there in boxes, and then I just drag them onto, because on the right where it says inputs are your 5 custom resolutions. So I
Oh,
just drag
no,
and drop it
all
onto
right. I
there.
think I know what the issue is. Hold on. Let me. Okay. I think it's looking for a different bin because it's let me check the configuration. Because I don't know if you could see this here. Yeah, you can, even with your window there. It says see users public. That's I think what it's looking for.
Yeah. So it's public documents, Extron, EDID library, downloads. That's what it
Downloads.
is for me.
And the one that you sent me is in that folder now. Interesting.
Yep. As it should be, yeah.
Okay, so I don't see in the available EDID, there's nothing, it says no search results here. Should I close the program or reopen it or something?
Try that.
Close section.
Because I've got all of the EDIDs that are in the library, and I'm not sure if the PCS like imported them, pulled them from somewhere, or if it's pulled it from the DVS 605. But I've got all these blue ones that are like the default resolutions.
Huh.
And then they should show up like an orange color for the custom reds.
Hey, SJF Tech, what's going on? SJF says I have no need to downscale, but I've still watched all the chronicles. Yeah, that's I love this stuff too. I love getting in there and really seeing what all these things can do as well. Even though some of the devices, so like the GBS one that you like that weird like Frankenstein GBS. I loved that video. I will
Oh
never
yeah.
touch that thing. I will never buy it. I'll never use it. But I loved the video.
It's a weird
Okay,
one, that one.
available EDIDs.
There you go. Yep. That looks correct now. So it'll be orange, the custom. So it's easy to find.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. So drag that, because it says VGA, you have to drag it to 1 or 2 where it says laptop or DOC cam. Yeah, so it won't, because it's programmed as VGA, that's an HDMI slot. So drag it to 1 or 2. So up.
Okay, it has to be a VGA output to get that in the input.
I'm not sure if it has to be, I'm not sure. It just has to be, because it's made as VGA in the EDID manager, it has to go into a VGA slot. But I think it should be selectable no matter what output you're using.
Interesting. And where could you create the EDIDs? Is that a separate program?
Yeah, so I use the EDID manager from Extron. You need a login for it. You could use CRU as well, custom resolution utility. But when you output them, it outputs them in DisplayPort EDID format, and I'm not sure how to change it in CRU,
Maybe the
which means that it
Extron
has to be
utility could
dragged.
just magically appear in Discord, and we'll go from there.
Let me see. Let me pull some strings. Just hope it doesn't need a sign in. File limit exceeded. Let me drop you a link. I'll upload it and drop you a link.
All right. SJF, as an Englishman, I love the Aussie humor. I feel like I should have been born on that island. There's a company that's starting something, See You in the NT in the Northern Territory, and my friend Dan sent me a bunch of the shirts and hats and stuff, and it is just the funniest thing in the world to me. Hey, what's up, Tony? How you doing? Oh, here we go. Got
All
it.
right, sent you a
Okay.
link.
You know, I part of me wishes that these live streams could be a little more streamlined, but a large part of me is really happy that we do it this way because this is what everybody else would have to go through. So if anybody, like if I whipped up or you or I whipped up a quick guide after this to just say here's what you do, there's going to be somebody that runs into trouble, and having something to reference like this, I think it's a big help. So I don't have any problem
Yeah.
taking the slow and steady approach for this. Although I am very mindful of what time it is for you, so I don't want to mess around too long. But right now I'm at the mercy of Google Drive, just spinning and spinning and spinning. So
I'm easy. Where is it? I got my cafeteria full of espresso to keep me up. Plus, no work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday.
yeah, I used to when I was working with a partner company in Taiwan. I would wake up in the middle of the night to pee, check my emails, spend 15 minutes responding to emails, go back to bed, wake up early, check them before I go to work, and it was like second nature. It was never anything, never a bother. And I sort of still do that now, but not to the level I used to. Like I'd wake up the next morning and I'd read completely professional, nothing wrong with them emails that I wrote the night before that I had just zero memory of. All right, we got the file downloaded. Switch back to this view. Software's
Just hope
loading
it
up.
doesn't need a sign in. Otherwise, you tell me what you want me to program if you're not able to sign in, if it does need a sign in.
All right.
Yep. I haven't bothered looking for free tools other than CRU. I'm sure they exist. So I'm sure that it's going to be more accessible, like to the masses using some other program. All right. So you have to open an existing EDID. So just open one of the ones that I sent you.
Okay.
Yep. And then you go modify EDID at the top. Yep. Now, what is it that you wanted to change?
So the
The
output
format or
output resolution should be 640 by 480 at 72.
all right, go to detailed timings, the next tab,
Okay.
and then show detailed parameters on the right, the box. Yep. Then CVT 1.2 calculator. Yep.
Wait, I'm off screen. Hold on. Here we go. Let me move this. Make it a little easier here. CVT calculator. Sorry, everybody. Sometimes I just forget. So 640, 480, refresh rate. Wait, no.
4,800 baht.
Yeah, 72 hertz.
There you go. Calculate and add.
Okay.
Yep. At the bottom, you've got apply. Yep.
And did that
Do you
already
want to do
save it as
anything
a
else to
file?
it? You'll have to save it now. So file, save as. Yep. And I'm just going to make the same one as well so I can test it with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep going and make a couple real quick so we don't have to go back into this program.
Yeah.
86.
Now, do you guys use the term "crack the shits"? Do you know what that means, or is that an Australian term?
No, you have to explain it to me though, because
All right.
Dan is helping me become fluent in Australian. I've been making a lot of progress. I haven't messed up. He said a couple times I got it right, because if I got it wrong and I was over there, I would have gotten cold clocked. So I think I'm getting there.
All right. So I asked because I was about to use the term that my DVS 605 cracked the shits because I was giving it too many EDIDs and then it just would always default to 720p 60 hertz. So then I did a factory reset. The factory reset takes like less than a minute to do. And then it was good to go. I've had to do that a number of times. It's probably just not used to getting so many custom resolutions all at once.
You know, a while back, where the heck is I did that whole um, I did that whole video on proper cadence. I think I even linked it. And I did a whole list of what the different mode lines would be. I think I left those in there
The
somewhere.
savings
Maybe?
are here extra.
Come on, where is the? I think 960 by 720 is the one. 960 by 720 and 1024 by 768 are both ones that I should probably do now. So 22. And then what was the other one? 1024 by
Love you too,
768.
buddy. That's my friend in the chat, Paul. Sorry.
All good.
So 960 by 720, 72 hertz.
Yeah.
That's the
So
another one you're doing? Yeah.
I'm just making a variety of them just because what if the Extron, even though I know all of my monitors are going to be compatible with most of these, what if the Extron is only compatible with a handful? That way we don't have to come bouncing back and forth between the EDID manager. We just all have them there.
Yep.
And then the last one was going to be 1440 by 1080 at 72, and then also at 96. Just because why the heck not? Yeah, apply. 40. And this is what I showed in that Judder free video as well. So if anybody is interested, I showed how to do this on the RetroTink, and it works really well. 6.
Yeah, I got that message too. So
Interesting.
if you make the EDID HDMI 2.0, then it'll let you progress. Oh, there you go. I didn't even try reduce blanking V2.
When in doubt, push a bunch of buttons.
That's what I do. I'm not very scientific with this. I'm just brute force. All right, well, let me try 1960, 1080, and 72.
All right, so we can get out of the EDID manager because we made all the ones we want, right?
Yep, then you just import them and drag. Maybe just do one at a time so the DVS doesn't crack the shits now that you know what
Yeah,
that
we'll
means.
start with the easy one. So the 640 by 480 at 72. So where should I go from there? And actually, you know what? Let me turn on the Blu-ray player and grab the remote so I have that as well. And my wife was kind enough to grab me a coffee, so I'm going to go grab that real quick. All right. All right, I have that powered up, and I got the EDID manager up, or in the Extron manager up, and I think we're input aspect ratio. Okay, so
So
EDID
you,
minder, and
yeah,
then add EDID to
you'll have to
library.
import them.
Wait, that's right. I put them in this one. Library. We'll just start with that one because it's the easiest, and we'll go from there.
Yep.
And what should I do with this one now?
Drag it onto where it says inputs. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So now you can either do this on the DVS or you just go to input output config tab.
Okay.
Yep. And then on the right, where it says resolution, output configuration, you got 1080p. Yep. So where it says 1080p, then select your resolution, which should be towards the bottom, C1. Yep.
Oh,
And then it
wow,
says
look at
72
that.
hertz. And I think it should just be active.
Okay, well, then let's check.
Yeah. You've also got the input AFL, which is the frame lock. Not that lag matters in this case, but I think that is to follow the input vertical frequency, I think. We'll see what your Tink says.
Oh, I forgot to turn on the tank. I think we have to assign this to input 3. Right. All right, let me switch this over. RGB HV. Okay, so it just says HDCP content. No problem. We have a device that is PS3 compatible. So I just need about 30 seconds for that. Stinks that we got the HDCP warning on it, but whatever. Easy fix.
There is an HDCP option, but it just made the screen go from green to black. It's in advanced config, which is the last menu option, I think. Nope, must be in input or output. Yeah, there's a setting in input.
All right, I just tried it. I'm using the stripper just because why not, right? All right, so you see the Oppo logo coming up. I'll raise my camera a little bit. So the input is correct. That's correct. Let's see what this says. It's showing it as 1920 by 240 at 72 hertz. Weird. Well, let me start playing content and let me make sure
240.
that the output is the right cadence as well. So we'll go. Oh, okay. Let me do this real quick. Let me get a video playing. We'll just go right through the tank. Beautiful. All right. Okay. Watch me get a copyright because of this crap. As soon as it starts playing, I'll switch back over to the stats menu so we can make sure it's outputting 1920 by 1080 at 24p. It takes a minute. It's buffering now because I'm playing this a Blu-ray over my network. That's going to take a second. All right. Yep. So we can see 1920 by 1080 at 2398 hertz. I'm going to try to pause it or something so I don't get. All right. So I'll switch this back over to VGA. plug this back into the Extron and see what we got. Okay, so it's down here. We could definitely see it. Let's see the stats. So for
My
some
640
reason,
by 480 is working.
say that again. I'm sorry.
My 640 by 480 72 hertz is working. Monitor says 35.6 kilohertz, 72 hertz. That's with a 24p input.
Mine says 1920 by 240, so I must have done something wrong.
And is this the 640 by 480 EDID?
Yes.
Did you happen to upload? No, this is the first time you've used the DVS 605.
Yes. Although, I mean, obviously it's a used unit, so who knows what happened before that. But
I wonder if they've loaded the EDID that I uploaded, the 1920 by 240.
thanks, FJF. SJF reminded me I have this at the wrong angle, and I could try to get it. Maybe that'll be a little more helpful too. That, yeah, all right, that should be a little bit better. So let me jump back into the other menu and go from there. So 640 by 480 is selected. 72 RGB HV HV.
And you're feeding it 24p?
Yes.
With resolution, where it says output config, change it to C2 and then go back to C1. Yep.
It says 1280 by 720 at 60 hertz, and the image is centered, so
Yep.
that worked. All right. And now it says 1920 by 720.
Yeah, that's Extron doing its Extron thing.
All right, let's try another one. Where was the? Did I still do that? Yeah.
You may end up factory resetting if like the next one doesn't stick.
Big.
So your next one's 960, 720, 72 hertz. I'll make that one as well.
And now it says the output says 920 by or 1920 by 720. So something's weird with this one. It is saying 72 hertz, but it's not matching the 960 resolution.
Let me try mine. So 960, 720, 72 hertz.
I'm going to leave the test patterns on too, just so I could. Yeah, I know you all aren't seeing this, but I'm gonna. I think that might be easier since I won't have to worry about the feed input, and this is still working. So let's So if I set it to 640 by 480, like you just saw here, the output is now listed as 1280 by 480 at 60 hertz. And let's see, I mean, just out of curiosity. Yeah, so that's all.
Wonder where it's getting. It's following. What settings are? Let me go to your window. I've got the exact same settings in the input configuration. So I've got fill and film detect on.
Let me flip this back just so you can see how this is working. So 720p, 5994, everything looks fine. I'm going to switch it to the custom resolution. Actually, I'll go to 640 by 480, the built-in resolution. everything still looks fine. Except it says 1280 by 480. So maybe they're just overscanning, or it's like the super resolution style things in order to get the pixel clock high enough so the HDMI output works too. I don't know.
Let me try that EDID.
But when I go to 960 by 720, not only do I get a weird output, you see how it just smushes and cuts off the image. I wonder what happens if we connect it directly to the VGA monitor now. Let me grab a power cable and just do that, because this could be one of those things where it looks fine on the monitor, but not on anything else.
Yeah, it's working on mine. I've got 53.6 kilohertz, 72 hertz. That's straight from the monitor. Oh, you obviously can't see that.
This. If anybody's joining and wonders why we're doing this or what the heck we're doing, just let me know. I have no problem repeating myself and answering multiple times, because this stuff is really weird. And I totally get how it just wouldn't make sense to most people until you really think about, if you saw the Judder-free video, you totally get it. But if you haven't, you're probably wondering why I lost my mind and I'm messing around with numbers that don't really matter. All right, let's monitor in. That's turned on. All right, shaky cam, everybody. I should have switched over to the desktop view. Sorry. Well, okay. Unplugging it from the tank, plugging it right into this monitor. All right, so that's all that matters. That looks fine. It was already saying 72. The fact that the resolution doesn't match on the tank, I mean, this could actually just be totally fine. So what I do want to see, though, is if the cadence is working right. And that's going to be a...
Does your monitor read? Like on mine, I just press menu and it comes up. Does yours do anything like that, where it tells you the resolution it's getting?
It might. Let's okay, switch over to this.
So another hack, it's not very scientific, but if you've got a camera with a variable shutter and then you put it to, say, 72 hertz.
Yeah, sadly, this isn't that kind of camera. All right.
But that's another way you can sort of confirm. I mean, it's flickering on camera, so I know it's not 30 or 60 hertz. But on the Extron LCD, it should tell you, it'll scroll and it'll tell you in and out.
Okay, that's odd. Let me switch output resolutions on the Extron, and then we could do the frame counting to see if it's actually doing it right. But go to 640 by 480. That seems to still be there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start that out so we know. Okay, that's weird. Have you ever seen that before?
What were you seeing? Explain to me. I'm not
If
sure.
you look in the monitor itself, in the lower right where it says time code, that's just like a black bar or a black square.
Oh, right.
Never seen that before.
Neither have I.
Weird. Okay. However, we could still do a cadence test. And I'm going to, I don't know how this is going to affect the output. So if this gets real weird, I might just switch it into a different mode. You can still see it. Yeah, I guess you can still see it. All right. Auto. All right, so what I'm going to do now, play, set it back to the beginning. And what I'm doing is recording 960 frames per second footage. And we are going to read and count the frames afterwards to see where we're at with this. And that would tell us if, well, you can see it in slow motion. So if, actually, it looks fine now because you could see the beam scanning each frame 3 times. That's really cool. Okay, hold on. Let's, I'll unflicker this for you all. I'm gonna grab that video we just recorded. Because if this works the way I think it does, or where it, yeah, sorry, it's still early. I was up at 5 with a meeting with a different thing today. But if this is counting the frames the way I believe it is, and what that actually means is this is all working, and this is absolutely worth our time to continue. Because if this wasn't doing a proper cadence, then I might just have some fun with you and then end the stream. But this is cool. All right, private, root, clip, and we're gonna.
And what's the source? Like, why do you think that black box is there?
No
Are you
idea.
running from your DVD player through the HDCP stripper into the DVS?
Yes, and this is the same setup that I use with the tank on a regular basis, and it never does that. So we could verify that in a second. But all right, 960 by 720, 72. 60 by 720 at 72. I'm going to drop that on the desktop, and then I'm going to open up VDub, and we will walk us through it just to prove this out. But this is a great sign.
Thanks for getting up early as well, Bob, and having me stay late because I do not function before like 3 p.m.
Oh, I have.
So this works for me.
Back in the day, it would have been the opposite. I would have much preferred to do this at night, and now I'm very appreciative I get to do this in the morning.
Right. Good. Well, it mutually works out.
Pane layout, input pane only. All right, so all we need to do here is just, I'm going to skip forward. All right, so we all saw the beam draw the number 4 once, twice, 3 times. And now it should go to 5 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if this was doing 3-2 pull down, you would see 3 4s, 2 5s, or 3 5s, 2 6s, or whatever. Let's skip ahead again, but I think this is working exactly the way it should be, which means we're definitely continuing because this is cool as hell. So 1, 2, 3. I clicked the timeline. Sorry, everybody. Hold on, let me do this again. All right, let's. All right, so 2. That's the first one. 1. My mouse keeps moving. 2, 3. You got to click individually here. Then 1, 2, 3. Sweet. Okay, this is totally working. 100%.
Awesome.
Let me get the camera back again, and we'll go from there. But this is awesome. This is really good news. So by doing basically nothing, it automatically reads and understands that if it's a 24p input and a 72p output, it's going to just triple the frames without applying any kind of video processing. So, all right, getting my camera back on.
I've also got the IN1606. I don't know if it's worth trying that as well. That's HDMI and VGA in, but then only HDMI out. You would have to DAC it on the output.
Huh. All right, so I think
But it works exactly the same.
Yeah, I think just to test, I'm going to plug the OPO directly into the tink. We're going to aim this over here so you all could see. Back this out, switch the input. All right, so there's no box in the right. We're going to start this up again just for the hell of it. All right, so that looks exactly as it's supposed to. Now we're going to run it through the Extron one more time. And I guess I'll run this through the tink too, just because why not? And all right, so that's not going to work because, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just simply that the Extron is outputting signals that PC CRT monitors can understand that digital equipment shouldn't understand because it shouldn't work like that. And I'm positive if we dug into the decimation settings and everything else of the tink, we could make it work, but that's not at all the purpose of the stream, so I'm not going to waste anybody's time with that. What I will do, however, is grab the HDMI output from the Extron and see if that's the same too.
You might have also pressed the picture-in-picture. I noticed that your DVS is flashing PIP and input
Oh,
one.
that's a great idea. That's a great idea too. Great idea.
I think that might have been picture-in-picture, that black box, actually, Bob.
That is a great idea.
That would make sense.
All right. HDMI. Yes. Okay, so we see it. This is the HDMI out. What do the stats say? This is 960 by 720. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're leaving the HDMI out of the Extron DVS to go into the RetroTink so we can view it all here. And then we're gonna have everything else on the monitor there. And I must have had, you're right, the picture-in-picture button. Well, look at that. Thank you, Marco.
Ta-da.
See, this is why we need you, man. I would have sat here dicking around for an hour trying to make the picture-in-picture button.
I saw flashing lights. It's
All right, so I'm gonna switch it back over to this because I guess we're gonna just jump around. Epilepsy warning, everybody. I apologize. But what you see here is a 1080p window being completely fit into this screen, which is totally fine if that's what you want. But one of the things I showed in the Tink video is how you could just do a vertical crop and it scans vertically and cuts off the sides. So if this were something like the Knight Rider Blu-ray, there's nothing on the sides anyway, so you'd have black on all sides. So let's see if we could do that with the Extron in any way here.
So there's two ways for image controls. You can do it on your PC, or you can just do it directly on the unit. If you just want a freeform scale.
All right, so let's see how that is then. All right, let's see how that works, I guess. I'm gonna have the view over here and zoomed just to save people's eyes from staring at that flicker.
So you would press menu until you get to.
And hey, just to double check the chat here real quick. Love and Tech Live, thanks for coming by to say hi. SJF Tech, is it worth running an auto crop in the Tink when you run the Extron through it? So just to be clear, the reason we have the Tink set up is to verify. So the end goal would be if people could find these and you only need it for downscaling movies and stuff, you don't need the Tink at all. The reason we have this here is just for what you just saw. I wanted to also run it through a different output so that we could use the statistics menu to see exactly what signal's going through, to check things like the picture-in-picture. So you actually wouldn't, if you had a RetroTink 4K, you wouldn't be using this Extron at all. There would be no need to, really. The Retro Tuesday Mafia have arrived. All right, so
you press menu, go to picture control.
Picture control, yep. And then next.
I'm going to switch window, sorry. Press, next. And then you've got HV size and HV position are different menus. And this sort of works like the name escapes me now. The VSC 500s.
Let me get this out of
My
standby
VGA
mode.
port keeps coming out.
Let me get that out of standby real quick. Sorry. All right, next. So I would have to, the vertical size and the horizontal size I'd have to do manually.
Yes. So it's not like the VSC where there's an option to pull, from the corner. You have to do it manually.
Damn it, I'm skipping around too much here. Picture control, H position, H size. So I'd want to do something like 1280 by 720.
Are you going by numbers or you're looking at your PC
I'm going
CRT at
by
the same time?
the
Oh, no,
size.
you're going by the,
And
yeah.
then,
And then if you want to go back to position, you have to press menu and go back into picture control. So you can do this by the PCS as well, but then you got to be connected to the PC.
all right, so that kind of worked. Let me show you over here. Zoom out. Sorry for the flashing, everybody. That's just because of the uneven rate. So that did work. So is this something I could save as a profile then, I guess is the best way to put it? Because doing this every time
Yes.
would suck, except if you could save this so I could just have profiles that I could label and go through.
Yes, you can save. So user presets.
And I would do that on the device or in the interface.
You can do it on either, but you might as well just do it on the device.
Okay. So
So
user
user
presets.
presets. The second option, IN1, or for me it's IN1, yours might be different, and it says save. And then you scroll the first knob until it says, it'll have a number, like mine's 1.
So mine's going to be, so picture, wait, hold on. So it's picture-in-picture
I think
user
you're in a
presets.
different
You know
menu.
what, let me zoom in. What am I doing here? Picture-in-picture user presets. Actually, let me get closer
All right,
too.
back up out of there. So you want to go to user presets, which is the first menu item. So you hit menu to back out,
Okay.
hit menu again, menu. All right, keep going until you get to user presets.
Mine says that.
Oh. All right, well, I guess go into that. You might be on a later firmware.
Should we just
So
update
I
the
go into
firmware on
that
this
and
sucker?
let's see what firmware I'm on, which is, I think it says in advanced config.
Elliot.
I'm from memory, I'm on like 1.9 or something, or 1.09.
Does it say in the in here at all?
Yeah, if you go to image settings, you can do it on the device. I was just stumped that yours said something different, but I'm sure it's going to lead you to the same thing. Yeah, image settings, you've
Oh, I
got
could do
input
this one right
presets
here,
and
right?
user presets. Yeah, you can just do it there.
Um, Zero, two, oh, 4, 3.
Yeah. Now, I've always been paranoid where I save it there and then I save it in the first column as well.
Okay, so it's in both.
Yeah. I don't know if you need to hit save preset. Yep. It should be there now.
Okay. So let's all right. So I guess let's next recall. Well, that didn't work.
Elliot, to answer your question, it just varies. Bob was saying that these might skyrocket in price after this stream. Just keep a reminder on eBay, I guess. I got mine for probably 120 Australian. That might be like 80 US dollars or so.
I paid 175 for this one because I just jumped on it.
Yep.
I know I probably should have just waited, but I just wanted to really test this. All right, where's the firmware 130.006, 130. All right, so it is the latest firmware. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mutt. Input output config. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, OSSC Pro is still king in my opinion, but you pay a bit for it. But it just does so much in one device. You know, like I use mine for transcoding, sync combining and splitting, switching, downscaling, of course. It's also dual output now for me because it does HDMI and VGA.
All right, when I do the recall, it switches it to a different input and a different everything else. So that's okay. Wait, user. Okay, I think that might have been it.
I
Hold on a
wonder.
second. Let me switch back to the other view to show you all. And so if I go to recall 2, it switches everything here. You can see, all the inputs switch. It adds picture and picture back. So we're going to turn off picture and picture. Go to. Oh, actually, no, no. We'll leave it there. So nothing. There's nothing on screen, right? So we go back, and we actually, instead of going to this one, keep going to user recall. We'll bring that to 1. Oh, wait, into user. It worked a second ago. So I think you actually have to set it to the input. Then go in and change the preset, maybe? That might be it. All right, I think
Yep.
what we have to do is just add some others to the main thing, and then we could call it back like that. So let me go in. Come on, Oppo. World's worst remote control. All right. So I have input source going, and we'll. So for custom 2, we're gonna go. Where's the other orange one? Oop. All right, we'll do 1440. Drop that up over here. Go to input output.
Now that was with the
Oh, I
reduced
overwrote
blanking
C1 for that
second
one.
option.
Damn, you're right. Okay. So, all right, I think I get it now. Hold on a second. Sorry, everybody. I think I have to load up the EDIDs that I want. And then I have to, all right. So there's a limit to this too. There's only 5 total resolutions that you could
Yep.
add.
Correct.
So I want 640 by 480, 960. Oh, you gotta do one at a time? All right. 640 by 480 at 72. And then the next one is, we don't need 96. And
We
the
could
960 by
try
640.
it actually. I'll try it on my end. I know the Extron, it says that it caps out at 75 hertz. I'll try it anyway. What's the resolution for
You can just do
96 hertz?
640 by 480. You could do any of them, really.
All right, let's try 640, 480, 96.
Oh, so it's only letting me drop them over the VGAs?
Correct.
Something's
Otherwise,
got to
in
be,
the
something's
ED,
wonky about this, though, because
yeah,
if we're adding these potential EDID resolutions, we should be able to choose from.
so if in the EDID manager, if you assign it an HDMI label, like 2.0, then you can drag it into those last 3 resolution slots.
Oh, check this out. If the EDID minder right here, we could just do it like this.
Does that change it live on your display?
Does not appear to be.
I don't know if that's like that's a filter option. That's like a search option.
Oh,
See how it's changed the
oh, you're
box
right. That's
at the
useless.
bottom?
That's just a filter.
Yeah.
Okay, clear, and that's why nothing was showing up before. Because okay. All right. So if you were using this on just one monitor, this would still be fine because you really would only need 2 resolutions and then multiple profiles for that. But using this with multiple monitors might be a pain. Whoa, Lex, what's up, man? Glad to see you. What's going on, Elliot?
Lex, Faizan.
Right. I'm just taking a moment here to see if there's any way to add more than just 2 resolutions.
All right, so that's 96 hertz.
Because essentially, we don't really need custom resolutions. We just need multiple refresh rates.
Hey, this is working 96 hertz, 640 by 480, but it looks, how do I describe it? It looks a bit blurry. Let's go to a test pattern. I mean, maybe because it's 640 by 480. Like I'm seeing, like scan lines. I don't know if it's because before it was scanning a bit higher. But yeah, that's cool. You actually can push it past 75 or 74 hertz.
Sync mute. All right, well, if this is all we're working with, then this is fine. This will still get us to where we want to go. This definitely will never replace the Tink 4K for all the downscaling for the proper cadence stuff. And if Marcus adds that to the proper cadence stuff to the OSSC Pro, that will absolutely be the king for it too, just because of price. But let's keep going because this is cool. All right, so we got C1 is 640 by 480 at 72. That's working on both. I'll switch views here. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it over here so you all don't see the flashing, and I'll just show you after I save it just to make things easier. Okay, so input presets, I should save this one here. And we'll call this 640 by 80.
Lex is inviting himself over for pizza. You're welcome anytime. I'm doing a pizza sesh tomorrow with some friends, actually.
That's awesome. A buddy of mine loves making his own pizzas as well. And I keep telling him he needs to make me a stuffed crust pizza. Because I don't know if you have that crap over there, but here, like Little Caesars and Pizza Hut, it's like the world's worst pizza with a really good cheese crust. So.
Mm.
Do you ever do that, or is that just blasphemous?
It is blasphemous because when you make a proper Napolitana pizza, you've got all the air in the crust, and you don't want to mess with that. That's gold, you know. It can be done, but
All right, so I am switching this over then. So that I got that working, and I'll switch it over to 960 by 720. And that one's still gonna work. Actually, wait a minute. No, I'm gonna go back to this, and then I'm gonna do the zooming, which once again, actually, I think for this I'm gonna have to put on, like the Knight Rider one, and we can go back to the frame testing.
I'm going to drop you the 96 hertz one that I made. And then if you do test it, tell me what you think, because to me it doesn't look right.
I think this should still be in. Okay, perfect. So now I could use this to zoom in, and I'll show you the Tink view, but once again, I'm only doing it this way to save your eyes for everybody watching. So I'm gonna go to menu, picture control, horizontal position. Oh wait, no, the horizontal size first. That's
Now, again, are you doing this by eye, looking at your CRT, or you're going for specific numbers?
I am doing this by eye. If I was a smart man, I would have the 240p test suite running into a scaler into the Extron, but I am not. So we're just gonna keep going.
No, if it's not 240p content, go away. Have at it. I do everything by eye.
Almost. And I could obviously adjust this afterwards. The purpose of me doing this now is to test profiles and everything, but that looks about right-ish. And the rest, actually, I think that's, no, me. So it is cutting off some of the image here, I think. And you can even see that on the Tink screen, because you see as I move it to the left, at one point it stops. Oh no, it doesn't. It just needed a moment to catch it. I think I have the vertical just about right. I wonder if 960 by 640 would be it, or maybe 920? I am kind of just eyeballing it, but there's obviously a, you know, because I'm not sure if I'm explaining this right. Oh, damn Oppo. They're very handy screensaver. So if I scroll, let me see if I can see this on camera. So it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving. And if you do it enough, the picture just kind of disappears afterwards. So that's the max it can go here. So that's negative 112, let's just say. But there's still more images over here. So I think what that actually means is I have to lower this. The good news is once you mess around with this enough, you could just write down the number. Well, we're getting there. All right. I think that's it. I think that appears to be it, and I think we got to hit auto adjust on. That looks right on the Tink. It doesn't quite look right on my VGA monitor, but that's normal. Horizontal size. Okay, that's now adjusted on the display itself over here. Come on. Yeah, okay, so that's, I'll show you the view real quick so we don't, you can see how it's filling the screen nicely. And we'll go here. All right, that looks totally fine. So I think what we got to do now is save it again. And I could do that, I think, through the other interface. So can't you just inject the cheese into the crust? That's awesome. Lex, I've seen the pizzas in the video, but I don't know. Never been to Australia, so I haven't been able to partake in person. All right, so if I go over here to, where was it? Input, output, config, image settings. So I could just click on this and hit save. And 640, 482 dash 16.9, I guess we'll call it, because technically we're zoomed. All right, and I'll do it on this one too. So the reason I just messed with all of that is now I want to go back and switch the settings on this, and we'll see. So right now we have it centered on my VGA monitor. It's centered here. So we're going to go user recall. We're going to go to 1. And it goes back to centered for 16:9 as we expected. But we're going to go to user 2. Beautiful. So let's see if we could do this with multiple resolutions. And if that's it, then this is going to be a really, really cool way to just have a dedicated downscaler for my displays. The only downside is I really use a bunch of different resolutions. 640 by 480, 960, the 1440, and each of those with multiple video outputs, or multiple timing outputs, because I'm compensating for the monitor I just showed, the XM29, and another test monitor as well. But this is awesome. For anybody who's joining and is wondering what in the world we're doing, all you need to know is if you watched that 24p video I did that's linked in the description, this device looks like it could very well be a dedicated box for that. And Marco, if you see me doing anything stupid, please jump in. But I think what we do now, where's the... Now we'll switch over to 960 by 720. It's still at 72 hertz. And we basically just do the same thing. That seems centered. Everything looks good on both of these displays. So I'm just going to hit save. And 960 and 720. 2. And I actually reversed those. You could edit these, right? Oh, cancel, cancel. Oh yeah, rename. Okay. You know what's going to happen is I'm going to start using this, and then a year from now, I'm going to mess up all these settings, and then I'm going to have to come back and rewatch this live stream to figure out how the hell to fix it. Save preset. And now we got to just do the same thing with the zooming and save that preset as well. Marco, your audio just died. Can you say anything? Yep, you're out. Sorry. No. Everybody, you can hear me, right? All right, I'm going to do the same thing on this one where I just go in. Oh, no, not auto. Picture control, size. Thanks, Elliot. Marco's going to reboot and jump back in or something. All right, I'll finish centering this thing. Are you back? Damn, not hearing you. Check OBS and see if you could see yourself in the audio, like the preview volume slider thing. Let me double check. I'm gonna like get my face all up in here, everybody. Sorry, I gotta. Might be off by 1 pixel, but everything seems perfect here. Not 100% sure about that. Oh, that's why. Yeah, okay. Everything looks good on both displays. I'm just adjusting the image on the CRT here. Cool. All right, I'll go back to save. Is it on my end that you're muted? I doubt it because I didn't touch anything, and I'm looking at your slider here and everything else. If you go into user settings on Discord and voice and video, you should be able to, wait, where is it? Yeah, you should be able to do a quick mic check and see if you're getting volume. Maybe we'll have to defer to the chat, have somebody else jump into the call just to see if their audio works. Zez, are you here? Are you preparing your story for your live stream later? I think anybody watching here, if you want to hang out afterwards, go over to the Retro Tech channel. Lewis from Zez Retro is apparently going to be telling a story about how he was a failed vacuum salesman. I don't know. That's going to be always interested in his wacky stories. All right, so this is working. I'm going to flip between the different profiles now just to see. So I'm going to get a little closer so you all could see too. For anybody who's just joining or half listening, this probably is one of the most boring streams I've ever done, which sucks because Marco is awesome and he deserves better, except this is really cool. This means the DVS 605 could actually be used for quite a few different things. So let's, all right, menu, user preset. So we're going to go in and we're going to recall 1. So that's that should be 640 by 480. Oh, no. Okay. So these user recalls, that only is the zoom settings. You have to change the, you got to change the resolution. Okay, interesting. Interesting. All right, Marco, when you come back, we'll go over this. Okay. DOVI. What's that, Elliot? You know, my brain has about 9 million different acronyms in it, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to remember all of them. Marco's going to be back in a couple. He's going to reboot his PC. So let's just see here. It reads the input properly. The output resolution you have to change via something. So let me change it. Let's see if we could do it here. Can you all see this? Let me zoom you in. Actually, let me zoom out and get the camera in because that's usually the easiest way. Sorry for the shaky cam, everybody. Come on, focus. Come on, Sony cam. Focus. There we go. Good job, Sony. Dolby Vision, huh? Wow, I've never actually seen it written that way. Oh, picture control, input config. Input 3. Film mode, so I'm pretty sure we're going to test film mode after this. 3 EDID. Okay, output config, resolution. Custom 1, 640 by 480. Okay. All right, we're getting there. This actually could be something that we access from this then. All right, this is still good stuff. Not as exciting as if the whole profile did it, but that's cool. We just set the resolution. Format, sync, we don't need any of that stuff. Audio, advanced. So then we go into here, and this is where we could, so that's a standard 16:9, and then this one zooms it, which is exactly what you would want for a native 4:3 thing like this. That's great. And we're seeing 640x480 at 72. It is looking good on the VGA monitor, but to save your eyes, I'm not going to do that. And then we back out. Picture control, no. Output config, switch the resolution to custom 2, which is 960x720. And then same thing, we go back out. User presets. And then 3 and 4 is what I had set for this one to be 16:9, or boom, zoomed. I said, oh, you could sort of see it in the background. So, all right, this is actually great. That is so far so good. I'm gonna raise this up, and let me check Marco's window here and see what we got. I still can't hear you, Marco, and nothing's coming up on your window. Sorry, man, these things just happen. And it's my stream, so it could very well be me. What's up, DJing? We are actually getting a pretty good progress with this. Seeing a lot of cool stuff. The EasyCoo HDMI splitter 4K 60. I think that's one of the ones that I reviewed actually that I liked. Although one of them died randomly, but that's fine. You know, when you buy stuff that cheap, it's either under warranty or whatever, and I'd actually prefer to spend money on something that works right every time, but none of these things really do. So I'm fine with just dealing with whatever. So I'm going to switch back to the display capture mode. So the last, so if anybody else, Marco really is the expert in this here. So I have to, let me move this below so we could do the whole thing. So I'm really going to be waiting and defaulting on him. But the issue here is I want more custom resolutions, and I don't know how to put them in because the EDID minder just makes you do it this way. And when you drop stuff over here, it overwrites the input-output config menu. Maybe if we do, that go there. Is anybody else in the chat familiar with this stuff? Because it really is like, Marco is my go-to for all of the Extron stuff. So the purpose of this stream is for TV and movies. If you want to watch Marco's other videos, I'm sure. Well, you probably already do, because if you have an Extron into your new Net City, you already watch Marco's videos. But this is more for the movie side of things. Let's see. All right, I think we got Marco again. Are you back? Okay. Maybe we change the, we can't change the inputs because there's two. Okay. So I just screwed this up then, I think. Yeah, I did screw this up. All right, let me, Marco, I'm gonna close and reopen Discord. Maybe it is me somehow. All right, can you hear me? Mm. Sorry, everybody. Never a stream without technical difficulties. All right, can you hear me? Guess not.
How's that?
Oh, you're back. You're
Can you hear me?
back.
Oh my god.
That's so weird. I'm sorry, man. I have no idea what the hell happened.
Yeah, so I switched to phone Discord and that didn't even work. So I thought it might have been on your end.
I guess so. I've never had that happen. Out of all of the different times I've done this, I've never just had audio drop like that. Weird. Sorry, man. That is
No, don't be
definitely
sorry.
a
What did I
first.
miss?
I've absolutely had it where I was midstream and couldn't add a new audio. I tried to get Stika on one time and that just wouldn't work. But that was different. All right, so
Yeah, I was gone for about 20 minutes. What did I miss?
a lot. Everything's working fine except when you reload those profiles, what you're actually loading is just the zoom information. You're not loading the resolution as well, which just means you have to select the resolution and first through the menu, and then you could load up the profiles for things like zooming 4:3 content on 16:9 images. However, the problem I'm running into still is that I would love to have more inputs or more custom resolutions, because with this one right now, the only ones I was able to input are those two.
So if you make some more in the EDID manager and you assign them to HDMI, then you should be able to drag them to those remaining three. I'm not sure what sort of limitations that poses, if any.
Let me go back to this. Funny that those are reversed now, but whatever, that doesn't matter. All right, so I should go back to the EDID manager, you said, right?
Yep. Yep, just load any modify EDID. And then if you select like HDMI, back in video format, if you select HDMI like 2.0 or something.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And then apply.
All
Yep.
right.
And then save it as, that should still be the same as whatever EDID you just loaded.
Cool.
Yeah, but you'll need to save it as a new one or override it. I'm not sure what that does when you go to import it into the PCS. If you've already imported it, I think it just doubles it. It'll just say the name and then 1 in brackets or something as a duplicate. How is Volta? Speaking of, I just saw Volta's bacon box.
I haven't talked to him in a while. I think he's doing good, though.
Yep.
All right, I see how it says HDMI now. So I dropped that on, and now I'm able to go in here and go custom resolution 3, 1440 by 1080. Excellent. Excellent. All right,
Working?
so then if I
The
needed
other
two
thing is
more,
audio. Because would you be using audio?
no, not at all. I would just skip audio altogether, I
Okay.
think. Um,
Yeah.
Actually, let me think about that. No, I would not need audio because the Oppo has a second, or anything that I use would have a second HDMI output because it would be going through the splitter, so I could just put it right back into my stereo.
Yep.
All right, so then let me pull out that EDID manager again. We're going to do two more here. So open 1024 by 768. We're going to switch that to HDMI 2.0.
And when you power off the Extron, the DVS 605, I'm pretty sure it just defaults back to the last resolution as well. So that's
Oh,
kind
that's
of like
cool.
preset in a way.
All right, so I'm going to go add EDID. And then 20. Okay. Dude, where was that other one that I had just done? Uh, yeah, all right. That one goes
Thanks
there.
for the compliment, Elliot.
Uh, six. HDMI. No. Apply. Oh,
It
I
doesn't
must have
like that
not done
one.
that right. Hold on.
Is
Yeah.
that an HDMI one? I think my video is obscuring, so I
Yeah,
can't see what that one is.
I
But
messed
that's
that up.
HDMI. Ah, okay.
Okay. 1440.
Your DVS 605 seems to be a bit more stable than mine.
Let me just add that last one in. All right. 1440 by 1080 at 72. HDMI. All right. So these should be saved to everything that I need. So we have 640, 960, 1024, 1440, and we just got the other one at 96 because why the hell not? Minder 80 works on both. I would just have to reset the zooming, which I'm not going to do here because I don't want to waste everybody's time. We're already on hour and 45 dicking around with this. So that's it. All right, that is the solution for that. So I guess the only other thing to try then, so this is awesome news. I mean, everything is working exactly as it should. Let me, all right. Now, so here's the, let me get this closer. So here is the workflow. Now that we've taken the time to program that in, thanks to Marco here. So let's just say I got this hooked up and I have it hooked up to the gateway monitor that I just showed. So what I would want to do is go to output config and switch the resolution between any of these. So 2640, these are all 72 hertz resolutions. And then I think this last one's a 1440 by 1080. Oh, that's a 96 hertz one. All right, that's cool. So you set
Does
set
that
the
look odd
resolution.
to you?
Huh? I didn't.
Does it look odd to you that 96 hertz?
I'll hit play in a second, but I don't think so. So then we're going to
Okay.
go back into menu. So first load your resolution. Then you go into the user presets, and if you've already done, oh, I passed it. If you've already done what we did, you could do stuff like this, where you use the, I probably should have had this, hold on a second here. So let me aim this up a little bit so you can see that's a 4:3 window and a 16:9 thing. So now we could go in and recall the zoom settings that we had. And there you go. I'm actually curious what about the other. Yeah, and the zoom settings appear to work on both displays, even though it's a different resolution. So you actually only need 2 profiles for 16:9 or 4:3, which is really cool. So let me hit play and see if it looks weird, because I know Marco said, no, this looks perfect.
Okay.
And its actual downscaling is doing a good job too, because I do see some jagged lines around his hat here, where if I set it to, like, let's get output resolution. We're going to go to 1440 by 1080, and then let's go back and zoom it. Actually, you know what? Let me hit play first. Yeah, so there's no jagged lines or anything like that. It's the same terrible video quality you would have seen. And go back into these. Let's zoom it. All right, and let me hit play again. No artifacts at all whatsoever. So what you do end up seeing, so right now, since I'm outputting 1440 by 1080, it's not changing the image at all. It's not altering the image. The only thing you could technically say it's doing is zooming it, but there's no artifacting on the hat here. Nothing noticeable that I could see really. But when I switch the resolutions, and this is something that you find with all of these scalers, including the Tink, which is why I'm really, really hoping that Marcus will add a proper cadence for this, because I want to see how the OSSC Pro handles it. So now we'll switch it to 640 by 480. We'll go back and zoom again. Okay, I'm going to hit play again and see if those artifacts are still there, which would be a result of the downscaling. By the way, I love those PVMs in the background. So yeah, there's a little bit of sharpness artifacts haloing around the guy's hat here, which that's what I've seen before as side effects of downscaling 1080p to 480p. So you would really want to use that in a scenario like the best way to do it would be to set like your PlayStation 3 or your Blu-ray player to 720 or 640 or 480p, and then so that does the downscaling, because that's used to video content. Now, when you did these videos about your downscaling and you're comparing how it looks with each device, have you tested video content, or was the focus always video games?
That's a good question. I would have to go back. Let me have a quick look.
Interesting. Yeah, that's because that's one thing that we certainly need to figure out, is what's the best for video content too. Because, well, like I say, this isn't something that everybody uses, but anybody who plays around with PC CRT monitors and old TV shows, this is a big deal. All right, very last thing I'm going to do, let me grab the same show, the stand, because I know that it actually works really well with inverse telecine. Works on the Tink, works with the Blu-ray player. So let's try with this.
No, so the main scenarios I focused on the follow-up video on the DVS 605, not on the quickie, on like the full downscaling video, was restoring 240p from 480p, so the Dreamcast. I compared it to the other downscalers, but that was purely for 240p. And then I put in composite video and output RGB. So I used it as like a RGB decoder, which seemed to work well. Like it handled 240p NTSC properly. The only weird thing it did do is when I input the PSP, there were some games where it just was resizing on the fly.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I also input 480i S video from the 3DO, and that handled it perfectly. So I brought it down to 240p.
All right, so user presets. Let's play this thing. All right, so what I'm interested to see is if it could, well, first, can we tell what I guess let's switch over to the Tink for this, just so we could make absolutely sure we know what it's outputting. All right, so this is outputting 480i. This is 15 kilohertz. So no inverse telecine has been done on this yet. I want to see if this could handle it, actually. Wrong one, wrong one. Fucking dodo, where's the thing? Input there.
So what are you doing here? You're going from 480i 60
Yeah,
hertz.
so that's the,
down
I'm not
to-
going to spend too much time on this just because this is not a feature that we need if you have other devices. But I want to know if the Extron could actually take something like a Blu-ray and inverse telecine it back to 24p. So essentially convert it to a proper cadence. And
Yep.
I think in order to do that, we got to check a couple of things. So input config, are you still able to see this? No, let me move this down. See if we could do it right here. Come on, Sony, you're usually way better at autos. There we go, okay. Film mode auto. All right. So do you think, what's Genlock? Let's try that and see what happens.
So AFL is the frame lock. So I think that's when it follows the input. So when you're gaming, have it on, because then that'll drop lag only to 1 frame.
So I'm just going to watch the scrolling on the CRT monitor to see if I see any judder. Yeah. I'll do it back one more time. I mean, it seems to be working. This is not a feature that I'm going to obsess about, but that certainly seems to be working.
So AFL, Accurate Frame Lock, a patented technology exclusive to Extron that eliminates image tearing caused by frame rate conversion.
Huh.
So this mode locks the output vertical refresh rate to the vertical refresh rate of the currently selected input.
So the Tink is reading this as 60 hertz though. Let me check on the Extron utility that I'm.
So that means you would want to have it off then in this case. Otherwise, it's always just going to follow the input vertical frequency.
Oh, you're right. You're right. All right, so with it off, I get weird stuff. Well, no, just when I switched. Let me go back one more time and see. By the way, I have to keep this off camera because every time I show TV show footage in these streams, I always end up getting a copyright flag. Yeah, I don't think it's doing this correctly, but that's totally okay. That's just something to note, that it's not going to do inverse telecine, but that's not a problem. That's just something to note.
I wonder if there's an actual 24 hertz mode built into it that you could select. That might do it proper. Yeah, there's built-in 24 hertz modes. If I, when you go to the EDID minder and you search refresh 24, there's a 1080 24 and a 2048 by 1080 24. So those are factory resolutions already on there.
Let me go back. I guess the one thing we forgot to check, which I'll switch it back to another view in a second. But we're going to go into advanced. Aspect ratio. I guess I should have had a Blu-ray for this one. Let me switch back super quick because I think we got what we needed out of that. But yeah, we're basically done. So if anybody has any questions on this, I'm gonna pull up one more thing just to double check it. But I think we're in really good shape, and I think this is going to be a device that I end up really using as to downscale movies and TV shows. I think you still need a capable player to do it. And I still think that the RetroTink 4K is a way better device, but I would never ever tell anybody to spend $750 just to watch movies on a CRT unless you're insane like me. Whereas spending $200 on one of these and then spending an hour or so programming it like we saw here, I think that's totally reasonable.
There's other options too. What's this one? This one also came bricked, but this is the DSC301. And I'm pretty sure this one works with the Extron PCS. Or is it the DVS304? No, I think it's this one. This one here, it's got HDMI output, so you would have to have a DAC.
All right.
So I can't confirm that works, but it should.
I'm waiting for something to load, and I'm going to try the aspect ratio thing one more time, and then that's basically it. It's rebuffering the video, which is why it's taken so long. I do everything over the network, which is handy, but if you're impatient like me, it's a pain in the ass.
So the aspect ratio thing, that's just switching between your presets, yeah, that you've already made?
No clue. We'll find out in 1 second.
Or is this the onboard settings on the Extron?
All right, it's just the onboard setting right here, and it is aspect ratio fill.
It's just follow and fill.
Believe it or
I've only
not,
messed
fill
with
actually
those
seems
for
like the right thing
downscaling.
to do.
Yeah.
Let's skip to the next scene here just to double check. Picture.
So follow seems like it would follow the aspect ratio of what it's being fed. And then fill, I'm pretty sure just normally it overscans like when I've been downscaling, and then I need to go back to the picture settings and manually squash it down.
Yeah, I think this looks exactly the way it's supposed to. And this was, go back into advanced. It is with aspect ratio as follow. So I think I'll just leave that alone. So overall, this thing gets my vote. If you could find one cheap, absolutely, will be working for proper cadence, as well as different resolutions, different refresh rates. It's just kind of a pain and the absolute trick that we needed to learn. So I guess out of the 2 hours that we've spent here, what I've learned was that you absolutely need to fill up the correct resolutions in the Extron EDID thing in order to get it all working and programmed that way. You have a maximum of 5 total custom resolution and refresh rate combos. And yeah, I think that's basically it. And genlock you actually want off in this case because you're trying to follow proper cadence. So that all of that makes total sense to me. It's definitely not a tink killer, that's for sure. But if you could find it cheap, I mean, you might describe it that way. And you're saying, so if I so it's outputting 960 by 720. So let me pull the plug on this sucker, including the USB cable. I'm going to plug it back in. No USB, just trying to see if the settings persist, which you said it should remember the last setting, correct?
At least the last resolution. And then I think if you've got the fill option enabled, just toggling through mine. So auto image, I think you have to have set to on, which is in the advanced settings. Then I think it automatically loads up your preset, I think.
All right, so it's 960 by 720, so remember the last resolution. And I'm going to go back in just to double check output config resolution. So when it downscales, it definitely makes the image a little, it almost looks like it's sharp downscaling. Maybe I'm just being crazy. I don't know. We do it this way, and then we go back into the.
Do you think you'll be testing 240p 480i output on this? Is that something that interests you?
No, only because the use case for this would be the use case for this would be to any 480i input that I'm using would actually be 24p source content, which is how all those DVDs or movies were recorded. The original movie was 24 frames per second, so they interlaced it and applied inverse telecine so that each of the fields match up, and that's kind of gives it that juddery look. So when you run IVTC on the Tink or on your Blu-ray player or DVD player or whatever else, what that actually does is reassemble the image and essentially makes it a 480p 24 instead of 480i 60. Or,
More for the purpose of downscaling. I mean, sorry, of gaming.
a game?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. I'm staying away from the mic so we don't get echoed.
So for the purpose of outputting 240p and 480i on a CRT for gaming, I'm saying.
Oh,
You could
yeah.
also use this for that.
Well,
Yeah,
didn't you? Yeah, you already covered that part in your video, though, right?
yeah. Not so much to do now, but it's just another sort of tool that this thing can do.
Oh, another use case for it. Absolutely. Sorry, I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about watching 480i through this, which you could definitely do, but then you'd be relying on its deinterlacer. But yeah, actually, that's kind of an interesting thing to check at some point too, is what deinterlacing is built into this, but it's probably just the basics, which is fine, but you know. All right, so this is all interesting. It does send the proper cadence. So if you send it 24, it will output 3 frames for 72. It does work with Blu-rays. It does do the downscaling. You tested the latency on it, and it was less than 2 frames, right?
Yeah, with AFL on, it's 1 frame.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, I think interlace sources was 1 to 2 frames with AFL on. Progressive sources was 1 frame.
Hey, what's up, Augusto? Baca, I'm so sorry, Baca. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, not without my glasses at least. But if you want your 480i EDID, check out Marco's video on it, and that seemed to be working. And you mentioned you've had problems with Nintendo consoles. They don't like RGB from it. Are you talking about retro consoles in 15 kilohertz? Or are you talking about like the Switch or something like that? And we'll take any other questions for a little bit, and then I'm going to let Marco go. And also, I believe that RetroTech live stream's coming up soon. If you guys jump on that, you got to ask Lewis about the vacuum cleaner salesman. Retro, that's
Retro.
interesting. So, Marco, have you tried just plugging like consoles directly into this?
So when I tried the Nintendo Wii, that was using one of those cheap HDMI dongles, which just takes composite video and digitizes it. So technically, no for RGB on that one. I haven't tried any Nintendo consoles in RGB on this. All I tried was the Nintendo DS, which has a TV mod that outputs composite video, and that worked perfectly fine. That's what I was talking about before, using it as a decoder. That worked okay.
All right. Well, since we're here and since we're closing things up, and since a bunch of people stayed through this whole thing, I'm going to try that real quick just to see. And I am going to use the new RetroTink cables, and we'll just give the sucker a shot. And if it doesn't work, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because this is just one of those like, hey, out of curiosity, let's see if this works. But I'm going to try it with the Nomad first because it's easier, and we can kind of just go from there. But that's the Saturn. Where's the Genesis one here? Got it. Got my RetroTink dongle. Where's my freaking cable? Here we go. By the way, what I'm doing right now used to be so much work. You used to have to get some kind of SCART cleaner. Like, it's always such a pain. I'm really glad Mike made these cables. They're not for everybody. Some people are just going to say, you know, no, I just want a basic ass SCART cable or component cable. That's totally fine. But I love that this is an option. In. All right, so try input 1. Whoa, how about that? That actually works. Let me get and it's reading it as 640 by 480 at 31 kilohertz. So this is doing a line double. Wow, that's really interesting. Let's see if it passes the, oh, it's treating it as 480i though. So for the person that was using this for 240p, it's not gonna work. It's gonna detect it as if it were a 480i source.
Really? All right.
Which is very common.
It detected my Nintendo DS just fine. I didn't have any artifacts on mine.
Your DS outputting 240p?
Yeah. So I was inputting 240p and outputting 240p, but the detection should theoretically be the same. Like regardless of what I'm outputting, it should still detect it the same. So I'm not sure why yours is detecting as 480i.
All right, we're
There's
just gonna
no
leave that.
scaling algorithms that you. Oh, maybe film mode.
Just tried that.
I don't know if that's got anything to do
Just
with it.
tried that. Good call though.
Let's check in the user manual what film mode does. All right. It offers advanced film mode processing techniques that help maximize image detail and sharpness for NTSC, PAL, HDTV 1080 sources that originate from film. So it's an automatic 3-2 and 2-2 pull down detection. So it really shouldn't have anything to do with interpreting 240p as 480i.
Yeah, this is definitely running in 480i mode though. And in fact, let me just double check that I didn't alternate 240p 480i. Yeah, so we're definitely in 240p mode, and it's trying to deinterlace it. So this is not something I would use for 240p at all. Excuse me, everybody. Yeah, you could see the blurring of the leaves and motion because of the deinterlacing where it's not needed. So, okay, well, that's good to know. And the sharpness is, yeah, it's about what you'd expect. You could see the edges like that. So yeah, this definitely isn't for 240p, but you could go down to 240p with this, right? With your custom resolutions.
Yep.
And have you tested well, you have the ability to run the 240p test suite's 480i thing, right? You could, well, yeah, of course you do. Sorry. But yeah, whenever you test that, you just go to video tests and drop shadow test. And if this thing is flickering, that's working correct. If it's static like it is here, it's just you can see the lines, then that means it's processing the image incorrectly. So like, here's the best example.
I would test that now if I could, but it would take me 10 minutes pulling out cables
Yeah,
and
no,
devices.
don't even bother. I'm just saying for your future use. So you see how
Yeah.
that's flickering now? That's how it's supposed to be, and that's using the tink to scale it.
Yeah. That's the Kramer that I just reviewed was doing the same thing as what the DVS was doing on yours just then. So it thought that 240p was 480i.
SJF Tech, if you jump over to that stream, I think you should absolutely bring up that point. It could very well have been what happened. All right, any other questions for Marco and I? I think I'm going to clean it up now and call it, but this was awesome. Awesome for me. I'm sure most other people might think it was boring, but really appreciate your help, Marco. This is very cool that you could use this device to do exactly that. I'm going to test it out for a little bit longer, and then I'll probably end up selling this at some point, not because I don't like it, but just because while this would be perfect to mount, let me show you here. It would be perfect to mount underneath right there. I could just have it right on the rack. I could hook it up and always have this monitor ready to go to watch movies on, or I guess I could even have it on the XM29. I need to continue to use the Tink because I need to continue to make videos on it. So while the Tink is definitely more powerful overall, if you could find one of these and just go through what we just showed, this is a very, very, very capable downscaler that keeps proper cadence for movies. So pairing this with a single monitor, I think would be the best choice. Not as easy to do with multiple monitors like I did here, but if you just had one, then all you would really need is the 3 or 4 resolutions. You'd always want 640 by 480 because some content just looks really good like that. You might want 72 and 96 just to see if your eyes could tell a difference. You probably can't. And then the next resolution you would want is the highest resolution that your monitor can handle. And this one could actually handle 1440 by 1080. So it's essentially exactly a 1080p image just with the sides cut off, which if you're watching 4:3 TV shows on Blu-ray, that's the native resolution. You're good to go. So you just do the zooming to cut the sides off, and that's it. So, and you could save your profiles after. The profiles don't save resolution, they just save zooming, but that's fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. So yeah, this thing, absolutely cool. So, Marco, thank you so much for sitting through this. I want to have you on again at some point, and I promise you it'll be a more exciting live stream that's not going to be in the middle of the night for you.
No, this was fun. I'm honored to be on your live stream. You know, I never would have thought I'd be helping you, the Retro Barbarino. So, no, thank you. I really appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, your videos are a giant help. Thank you for doing the section on the website. You help a ton of people. And yeah, we're absolutely going to do this again at some point. And, you know, for anybody that gets it, I'll see you in the NT. For everybody that doesn't, that's fine too. But yeah, thank you again, Marco. And thank you for everybody for joining. And yeah, this is awesome. I might do a quick write-up on this at some point. But this is a cool device. And yeah, I'm going to use it for a little while longer. And if anybody wants it, I just want what I paid for it. I don't need to make money on this. I just can't be losing money hand over fist. So awesome. Absolutely worth testing. So thanks, Marco. And we'll talk to everybody soon.